Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you my 5 selections for tomorrow's horse racing action. Before I get into that, I quickly want to apologise for not doing a video on here over the last few days. Just been really busy with work and haven't had the time to do so, but yeah, I've done one for tomorrow's racing. Plenty of good action across lots of good meetings where we've got Newmarket, Ascot and York, and I'll be giving you 5 of my best selections from those meetings. So let's get straight into it then. We're going to go to an extra tip tomorrow where we're going to be going with my first tip. We're going to go to the 3 o'clock at Ascot with a horse called Mountain Peak, who's currently available at 11 to 1 with SkyBet, who are offering 7 places on this race. I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection here. Now, this horse, Mountain Peak, ran arguably a career best performance when we saw him last time out at Epsom. He finished second in the Epsom Dash, where he was only just caught late on by T Spirit. But I think coming back to Ascot could be a good move by Ed Walker. He's got a good record over this course and distance. He's a dual course and distance winner, and he actually finished second in this race a couple of years ago, and he's going to have a good draw tomorrow in stall 15. He's a pretty versatile horse. He can be ridden up with the pace. He can be ridden off it to come with a late run. And Ed Walker's team, they've been having a bit of a quiet season, but the last couple of weeks, they've been suggesting that they are turning the corner. They had a winner at Ascot in the last race today, and I just think tomorrow his course experience could serve him in good stead, and you get an 11 to 1 about him to finish in 7 places. I think that's a great each way bet, and I'd be disappointed if he couldn't get involved there. We then go to my next best on the card tomorrow, which will be in the 3:15 at Newmarket. I like Line of War here for the Qatar Racing, Kieran Fallon, Charlie and Mark Johnson, available at 9 to 4 Betfair and Paddy Power, who are offering that price. I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet here. Now, I just thought there was something last time about him that suggested he's got a lot of class, this horse. He was an impressive winner when he won at Newcastle, pulling away from the field in the closing stages, and he left the rest for dead. He won on his debut at Leicester. He's still undefeated, but I prefer him to the Godolphin horse. The Godolphin horse, in my opinion, you do have to respect him. The Yard do have a good record in this race, but I just think Charlie Appleby's other debut winners were more impressive on their debut, and I'm not convinced he beat much at Newbury and was more workmanlike than flashy. Whereas I think Line of War could be the real deal. He's by Roaring Lion, who unfortunately only got one crop at stud. Hopefully he's left some good ones this year, and there could be a good horse that can run in his memory, because he was a terrific horse. And I think Line of War could potentially be that horse. And I don't think they were at all surprised about how far he won last time in Newcastle. I think there's a lot more to come from him. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on tomorrow. But I think at 9 to 4, I'd rather back him there than the Godolphin horse. And it'd be interesting to see how the market reacts as we get closer to post time. So he's going to be my next best in the Superlative Stakes. We then go to the Bunbury Cup next for my long shot of the day, which is in the 350 competitive handicap. But I'm quite keen here on the chances of I'm a Gambler to outrun his odds. He's currently available at 50 to 1 SkyBet. You're getting 6 places on offer for him there. Now, this horse, last time out, finished 12th at Royal Ascot in the Britannia Handicap. Ultimately, I don't think he probably stayed a mile. And I just think you've got to forgive his penultimate start at Hamilton, where the ground completely went against him. He wants really quick ground, and I think he's going to get that tomorrow. They've been running fast at the July course all the last 2 days, and I think he's going to have his conditions tomorrow. He's well in with the 3-year-old allowance. He was dropped £1 last time out. And Mark Johnson's got a really good record in this race. He won it a couple of years ago, and I think this has probably been at the back of their mind for this horse. I think 7 furlongs, a strong pace will suit him. The way he won at Beverley a few starts ago suggested he could be a horse that's really going places. The last couple of starts have been a little bit disappointing, but Charlie and Mark Johnson horses can be like that sometimes. They can one day be on top of the world, and the next minute can run an absolute stinker. You are getting 50 to 1 about him, but Chris Hayes is an interesting jockey booking, and I just think he can definitely outrun his odds tomorrow, and he's well in here with the weight for age allowance. I think there could be a bit more to come with him, so he's going to be my selection there. We then go to my nap, which runs in the John Smith's Cup. It's the 405 at York, and I quite like the chances here of Cockalorum. I think he's a really big price. I'm very keen on his chances tomorrow for Rowan Scott and Roger Fell. Available at 28 to 1 with SkyBet, who are offering 7 places on this race. I'm going to recommend a 1-point each way selection. There is bigger prices available with other firms, but they were offering less prices. But Cockalorum here, I think this has ultimately been his target since he finished second in this race last season. He nearly was able to make all. He got into a good rhythm, set some decent fractionals up front, and he was only collared late on by Johnny Drama. He was actually racing off a £1 higher mark that day. And I think ever since that run, they've wanted to come back here and have had another crack at this race. Like I say, he's £1 lower now, and the last couple of efforts have suggested he's coming back to himself. He ran over a mile at Hamilton last time in what I think is actually a decent race that could work out well. He was giving lumps of weight away to an unexposed 3-year-old, Mark Johnson, who previously had some good form in the book to his name. So yeah, I do think that was a good run last time at Hamilton, and it suggested to me that it was a pipe opener for this, and I just think there could be a bit more to come from him. He finished fourth in his penultimate start at Redcar. He has been falling down the weights, and Ryan Scott coming back aboard is a positive. He was on him last year, and clearly they think he's got a good chance. He's got a wide draw in stall 19, but to be fair, if you actually look at the roll of honour for this race over the last few years, you can win from any draw. I don't think it's necessarily that important, and if he can just get into a good position tomorrow, it hasn't been a bad thing to be on the pace today at Hamilton. He just might at York, I should say. I just think he might be able to stay there and might be able to make all and win. And Roger Fell can do this with horses at big prices. We've seen it in the past before. And I think Cockalorum might be able to give him the winner there. So that's why he's going to be my selection and lap of the day in the John Smith's Cup at York. We then go to the 4:25, the feature race on the card at Newmarket tomorrow, the Delay Jarley Cup. And I quite like the chances here of Cadamosto, Shamey Heffernan and Aidan O'Brien. Currently available at 20 to 1, 5 places SkyBet. I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection. Now, Cadamosto, to be fair to him, has run his career best effort so far at Royal Ascot. He finished fourth there as a juvenile in the Norfolk Stakes, and then arguably ran a career best last time when he finished fourth in the Commonwealth Cup. We've seen that form already advertised by Hello Flotus, who won today at York, but I was really taken by that run of Cadamosto, and if he hadn't veered right in the closing stages and bumped into the perfect power, I think he would have finished second. The blinkers seemed to have a positive effect with him, and Aidan O'Brien, just reading from the comments, I think that they were quite pleased with that run, and I think this has ultimately been the long-term plan. 10 Sovereigns won this race for the same connections a couple of years ago, and they also won it with US Navy flag, and the sire of 10 Sovereigns was No Nay Never, who is the sire of Cadamosto. I just think he'll have his conditions tomorrow. I think he'll be suited by the track, gets the 3-year-old allowance. Shamey Heffernan's coming over for the one ride. I think he's a great each way bet here, and I think he can definitely get involved. And having the blinkers on isn't necessarily a bad thing. We saw it with Circus Maximus when he had the blinkers on over a mile. It really did change him. And for me, I think he's overpriced here, and he's going to be my selection in the July Cup. So they're the tips then for tomorrow's racing. If you're still enjoying these videos, remember to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe here to the YouTube channel at LuckyLoads15. You can follow me on the socials as well, Twitter and Insta, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. Please gamble responsibly, and we'll be seeing you again soon.